think that if we, get out of this, in one piece, it will have made us stronger.
Today's edition of Pandemic Homemade series goes to Europe. We're going straight to Berlin, Germany, to find out how that country is dealing with the coronavirus and the current ongoing lockdown. Jullia, thank you once again for joining us here on Pandemic Homemade series. And you and I were laughing off camera just the other day, talking about how difficult it can be to spend too much time with family during this lockdown. Please just share your experience. How has your lockdown been with your husband and your two daughters?
Well, it has definitely been a challenge to some degree. I mean, on the whole, we are all getting on and getting along, and I'm very grateful that we're allowed to leave the house once in a while. But we've had our moments of, shouting matches, doors slamming, etc. So yeah, it's been quite interesting, I'd say. But we've also had really special moments, and watched movies together, played a few games together, gone jogging together, and I do think that if we get out of this in one piece, it will have made us stronger.
So now tell us about the measures in place that your government has provided for people to survive, people like freelancers, people who don't have permanent jobs, and people who rely on other people to make a living during this lockdown.
I mean, we are very lucky in Germany that we have such a good social and healthcare system that it can buffer a lot of strain on the economy, and the health system can take on a lot of sick people, and but I know that is a complete privilege, and I'm not completely sure whether the kinds of decisions our government made would be the right decisions in other contexts.
Now with the lockdown, we can't be going to weddings at all, and funerals, some people can't even bury their loved ones. How's it working there in Germany?
Well, generally, funerals here in Germany are quieter affairs than in South Africa. Usually less people attend, and they're maybe less intensive and exuberant, but the fact remains that people, of course, want to say goodbye to their loved ones, and would not want to miss out on that. And not being able to do that in these times is very tragic. I think everything should be done to make some kind of funeral and saying goodbye in times of social distancing possible, even if it's different than what we're used to.
And now lastly, just an overall assessment of your government's reaction to this pandemic, because I've read an article, and you've told me about this article, where it says where you stay is one of the safest places to live in this times of the pandemic. But just give us an overall assessment, and tell us if you think your government has done a good job in securing the lives of the population in Germany.
So all in all, I do feel that the reaction has been fairly reasonable, without too great restrictions on our democratic rights, although I must say we do have to keep our government on its toes. And the government also started to put in place quite quickly economic relief measures, even for smaller freelancers, enterprises, etc. So, for example, a friend of mine who's lost most of her income already, she's a musician, applied for these funds and received them within days.
Thank you for watching Pandemic Homemade Series. In our next installment, we go to Nigeria to also find out how that country is dealing with the coronavirus and the ongoing restrictions that come with this pandemic.